Wasn't really planning on starting this experiment just yet, but I made these and I tried them out when I had the rabbits in the silo. They were used, but not as nesting boxes. Now what I'm thinking is that I can take these and cut a hole back here and slip this tube in so that it sits something like this. Okay, obviously I'll have to maybe shorten the tube a little bit. But then they've got an outside nesting box, which leaves all this space in the cage and an extra hidey space when it's not being used as a nesting box. And it can easily come in here and check on the babies and stuff without being too disruptive up there. So that's kind of the idea. I'll eventually get around to cutting the holes. Right now I've got a little bit more rearranging in here to do. So that's the experiment. Once I get these ones out, then I'll probably work on cutting the holes and doing it for these two cages. I might just do it on one for now, see how I like it, and then make it for the other one. Alright, so she did indeed use it as a nesting box, which is good. It should be much warmer than normal, maybe not. She didn't actually put as much hay in here as I thought she would have. And I'm just going to add a little bit more because I took some out. She didn't like really make a nest this time. Not really, not like she normally does. So, yeah, I'm just going to add a little bit of hay that I took out earlier. Now this nesting box has only a little bit of a lip here. You can see it's not a very big lip. So in the future when I make new ones, what I'll probably want to do is make a slightly larger lip for the babies. They might be fine for right now, one because they're like way back here, but as they start to get a little bit more active, I still want them to be able to, you know, not get lost or go through there. I might eventually make those tunnels a little bit shorter too, but maybe not. Maybe it's perfectly fine that long. Hi, Beanie. Just wondering what I'm doing. Checking on the babies, doing a little video. So yeah, so far so good on this experiment. Alright, so one problem that I've noticed thus far is there is condensation inside, and that's not good. We can't have condensation in here. So what I'm thinking is I might have to take this one and go and put some holes in the bottom of it to allow drainage, not only for condensation but for urine and stuff. And then I'll probably put some along the top, and I'm thinking that should help. It shouldn't hinder anything. I think they're plenty warm in here, and that's part of the reason why there's condensation in here. But it's making it kind of moist in here, and it's not like the carriers, which have holes in it so the condensation can't hold or doesn't stay, and it's not like the wooden nest box, which would hold, like, and it's not like an underground nest and all the condensation would be in the soil. So, yeah, I'll have to figure out something. Oh, look, a little silver one. So, yeah, so what I might try to do, and I might also do something else to make it easier to get that in and out. So I'll take this one, clean it up as best as I can, drill some holes into the bottom of it and probably along the tops. And then I'll have to remove this one. And what I can do is make a little, take some scrap wire and make something that comes out a little bit. And then I'll just have to figure a way to anchor this here so it stays right here and doesn't get moved around when she goes in and out of it. So that's an issue that I have to try and solve, is the condensation. Alright, so I've gone and drilled a couple holes in the top, drilled a couple holes on the side, and drilled some holes in the bottom there for drainage on this one. Now this one isn't my best one because you can see the cracks around it. I'm going to have to figure out a better way to put the hoses in at some time, but this is only a test, so we're going to see. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this one out of that hole there. I'm going to get some of my scrap wire, and I'm going to make a little like halfway tunnel there, one that this will fit in, so I can butt it up against the cage. What I'll probably do is take some bricks and put it behind it and maybe on the sides to keep it in place so it's not jostling around and stuff. And then I'm going to pack this one with hay, and I'm going to move the babies out of this one into this one and put it there. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, so when I was putting this in, see, I tried to put it in so it was in, the ring here was in this to keep it sturdy so it doesn't move. I couldn't get it to fit, so down here I had to do a little cut just so I could get it the rest of the way in because it was such a pain. Now the problem with doing that is it makes it difficult to get back out so I can do any kind of maintenance with it. So this isn't the solution that I want, especially now that I got to take it back out. It's going to be a pain. There, see? So what I want to do is take some extra wire and just around here, and these ones here, is just make a kind of something that it will fit this. This will be allowed to fit in there, but I'm not going to have to mess with it to get it to stay. So that's what we're going to work on. So I've moved Mama out of here for now so I can mess around with that without worrying about her squeezing back there or making her super stressed. So we're going to work on that. Alright, got it up and around. Let's see how well it fits. Okay, so the second one doesn't line up quite as well. I think it's a little higher than the other one is. And I'm thinking, you know, little kits can squeeze back into here. So that could be an issue. It's not perfect. It's not even lined up all the way correctly, but that's okay. So I'm just thinking maybe in the future when I make the next one, instead of cutting a hole in it for this, I can cut a hole in it, a nice round hole in it, and then I can take wire and just attach it directly in there and make like a square tunnel. And I can just attach it directly to it and make two of those that can attach and unattach. In the future that might be the best way to do it. So for right now I've just got to figure out how to finagle this one to stay where it's supposed to, so I can use it. So I cut out a little bit more and pulled it all the way through. I left some of these and so they stick into little roots there and keep it from moving around. So we'll, I think that should do for now. I'll put some bricks behind it and around it just to keep it still. And we'll try that for the most part and see how well the condensation stays or leaves or whatever. And we'll make more adjustments as needed. Alright, everybody is moved over and safe. Now this one might differ a little bit simply because it has the cracks up there, but it should work relatively the same because this also has some cracks of its own because I made too big of a hole for that one. So anyways, we'll put the lid back on, put some bricks around it, put Mama back in, and there we go. We'll wait and see how this one works out. Alright. So, hello there, little guy. Alright, so here are my final thoughts, at least on the first attempt, and a couple of changes that I've made. The tunnel, I do kind of like the tunnel, but it doesn't fit as easily or as well into what I want to do. Just cutting a hole to fit the tunnel in and then trying to fit it in and then get it back out to clean it and stuff is just too much work. It's not worth it. So I made this, hey dearie, it's gonna go right in there, this little add-on to it here that extends a little outwards so that the tunnel sits in it. What I can do is I can add a little door on the back so that when I pull this out, I can close it so they can't get through here while this is open or whatever. But I've decided that, as you can see, there's like little gaps here and stuff. Haven't had any issues with it thus far as I know. None of the older kits have gotten out of it anyways. But I want to eliminate it before it becomes a problem. So I have a solution to that. I think the other issue that we had with this was the condensation on the inside. Now I drilled holes all along the box for ventilation. That didn't seem to help with the condensation, but it didn't seem like it was a really big issue either. So I think just drilling holes in the bottom to keep anything from pooling, like urine and then the condensation that comes off the walls, I think is what I'm going to do from now on. So those are kind of the issues that we had. I'm not going to worry about the condensation too much. I'm just going to drill holes in the bottom so that it doesn't pool in the nest. Other than that, it seems to be working really well. It's nice and warm in there for the kits. It gives just a little bit of extra room. Mama likes to use it as a hidey spot when kits aren't in there. And it's, yeah, I just kind of like it. The only thing is I have to walk all the way around to go and check on it, which ultimately is fine in some of my blueprints of my green barn, greenhouse thing. That's how it's going to be anyways. So yeah, this will be part 1 of the tote nesting box experiment, and I'll start part 2 here soon.